especially where recently we've casted him, Vincent. Think about how many rifle clutches, big plays, multi-frags that he's particularly pulled out, where, you know, some of the conversation happens to be maybe around a bit of an inconsistent Venom's era, you know, and where individuals like that will look to kind of rise with the tide of this Red Canids team. So, I mean, I think that's a very good point to go ahead and see, and a lot of praise happens to be, you know, where I think we kind of all came to, you know, at the beginning of our conversation, Vincent. You talked about taking the, you know, leading efforts onto drop shoulders. We've had a lot of praises for him. And I mean, particularly today when we get him across from cuts, I think you're going to get a well-called game.
I do too. And it's cuts actually starting out on their T side. It's history in the server, by the way. So those question marks that I was talking about at the very beginning, not the case here. So we're going to get that going. VSM, as per our usual arrangement, he's first to frag. And out the gate, zooming up, Cat.
Gotta slow him down. Kawa's immediately depleted, so Ponzer puts up a bit of a wall for himself, and he'll try and get the respect, and he'll get a headshot. Ponzer falling away. It does catch a second. Ponzer's still alive somehow. Still living. Ponzer to the back of this has to square up at the missile pillar, but here comes Drop in to save the day, and he's been quite audible about this. And VSM, well, he can't even trade that. He just saw a shoulder, and now Drop can box this out. VSM, he needs to collect a 4K to start this off for Flamengo, and just put out the candle for Drop, just dancing around this pillar. This could go for a long time with an entire minute to go. Trying to box this out, get the exact angle they want, Vincent. VSM is done playing games. He's got the bomb down finally.
Yeah, how about a little extra money at the very minimum, but that money is all you're going to be getting. Flamengo go down, and it's VSM who just, honestly, it's a failure to do everything is the tragedy of that. He gets the opener, he's got the multi-frag, and he's asked to clutch. He's asked to pick up the final pieces as well. You got to give credit over to Drop, who arrives late, but does clutch in the 1v2. I don't quite know, to be honest, how Ponter survived. I'm going to lay that at the feet of Del Boni or Dinoco. I don't know who it was, but somebody was missing the shots a lot. I think that's the problem. If I'm going to... Listen, I'm no doctor, but I'm just saying that's my diagnosis.
I hear that. I hear that. Somebody over from Flamengo saw that going on. We swapped away for a minute, Ponter. I watch him hop away on the minimap. Can barely believe it himself, I bet. Flamengo, though, through the efforts of VSM, which, I mean, were the bare minimum to get that plant, get this bonus. This is going to be a nice hit onto the A site, but tripped up. This is going to be Drop, putting in a whole lot more effort than just that clutch. It's Cold and Venom that put this into gear, and it's Flamengo that disappear. It's 2 in a row for the Canids.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I mean, you kind of highlight Venom's era as maybe a little bit more of a shaky piece of this Red Canids team, and I think that's valid. I'm not saying you're wrong, but I think on the CT side here on the A site, you and I have seen some of his best work be done. You know,
absolutely.
Watch out for that a little bit. Fantastic multi there from Drop twice in a row now to open up this qualifier for Red Canids. He clutches up and gives a lot of support there in inside of the A site where he himself was pretty alone for a hot minute.
Nade hidden home. Ponzer to check again. Seeing some activity. Canids should have this all under control. Deagles and the pistols back, Vinny. And coldzera to tee off with an A1S through window. This is how you get the rifle conversation going, ignoring the op. Get these shots down pretty easily. It's working quite well, but he's seen all three now, and he disappears where Cowas can now try and chip away.
Yeah, there's not too much of a conversation to get started. The bomb, unfortunately, is at top mid, so chance for Cuts and Reds to get a plant was never really there, especially not as Cowas cuts him down. If you just lose that one man, I mean, talk about a really strong couple of rounds for Red Canids.
What is the IGL on today?
He's having a great time.
Like that? All right.
Well, you know, I think you gotta remember where Drop was not a year ago, right? Like, this is a guy who's relatively new to this place and has a ton of experience as well. So I think it's important to keep in mind that he's capable of this. And part of that is, I think, the reason
Pro League placings in his day himself.
That's right. Yeah. Ouch.
Pro
History.
League player.
I'm pretty sure he just got double naded.
Hell of a time. Burn a little bit, I'm sure. coldzera on a hell of a corner. Well, so much for the rifle conversation. But if we can get a good cold Opende, then we're going to be in for a good one.
That's also
Sometimes
Mirage.
it can feel like that. True.
You know, I think it's important to set the tone with an op earlier on, especially when you had such a great economy boost with those last 2 rounds. And history's certainly not going to be feeling confident after taking 90 damage to start the round. This is something that Red Canids can fall into. Keep an eye on this. It's their CT side and their protocols toward mid that I think are lacking a little bit, but we shall see. Flamengo certainly exposing that early. There's no punish at the moment.
Trying to get a little bit more room for this peek over to A. History on 10 HP is playing the glass cannon. Cold can hear a whole hell of a lot on the other side. And pretty committed right to the cat corner, but pretty soon connector is going to be the concern. It's a great lineup, but it's the same way. Talboni hits a great connect, and venomzera on this island right now is going to have to make it work. There is the comeback from under as well, trying to get this bomb plant. It's going to be on the other side of triple. venomzera should know exactly where this is. VSM can potentially get a little bit of room to breathe. Don't give this man a chance. VSM boxes you out, knows exactly where venomzera is and can track this down. It's a ton of time to do this, but venomzera, he's trying to hide, but can you exactly from VSM, seeing ahead and now trying to chase one down? This is too much to ask for. The reload and VSM is overwhelmed.
I really love how venomzera approaches this as well, though. I think he deserves so much credit for making sure that VSM doesn't actually have a chance, because you're right. Give him an inch, he'll take a mile. VSM is the scariest guy on the other side of the server right now for Red Canids, and venomzera knows that. Just don't peek him. Don't give him a fight. Don't ever let him have a chance at that. And by the time he actually gets to set his feet a little bit, Red Canids have closed the distance, and venomzera's got cold for support. I think that's really smart, and venomzera, using his brain, already got the 2 kills that he needed with the A.
coldzera's coming back to B, but it's Kawez on cat off the rip. Back to normal, so to speak. coldzera just helping him out. The rest of Flamengo, well, I mean, at this point, they're feeling good. Gotten far to this point within their other T-faults. They were losing a member or two. Can fully see into what they do want, which is probably the mid to A stab. Get that a good smoke timed up by Kawez.
Yeah, if they've watched any VODs in the last 2 weeks from Red Canids, they know that they really like to play mid a little bit, just like entirely off mid, but occasionally they'll go aggressive. Very much occasional. So I think Flamengo absolutely understand that. They just want to take this space. See what Red Canids are giving them right now.
Cold loses the battle out to VSM. Kawez has now seen a little bit in connector. Can Kawez line it up? Does, in fact. And, I mean, Denoko's down to 2. So Ponter out here, he doesn't even need to get active because venomzera is a hero. Out from A, the triple to put Flamengo away in this round. Cuts can't even get his hands on the bomb, and now he is gone. What a beautiful start for Red Canids.
I mean, Flamengo need to be scared, and they need to be scared right now. Venom in this form. We talked about, how good Ponter can be as a B-side anchor. Well, he's not even required in this round thanks to venomzera. And that's all beginning with the fact that Cold lost the opening tool. Kawez gets overwhelmed, but unfortunately, Flamengo, they can't make their way up catwalk. Tons of damage done thanks to Kawez, to be fair, and an early nade on a chair that tees up venomzera for a triple spray down. That's lovely stuff. And Red Canids, I mean, they barely even need to worry when they have individuals on form like this. Do appreciate the early timeout. I think it's Chaos for Flamengo.
Yes, I have seen this. He joined in the last month or so.
Yeah, so get him in the fray. Talk about things. Drop tag teaming up with Venomzera at A this time for a little bit of a heftier stack in this area. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Wow.
He's lucky to be alive.
Did you just prompt the question if they had watched a demo or two? Maybe they have.
Yeah, it is. To be honest, I feel like that Venomzera is there more often than he's not. So I think we'll check that one off and say, yes, they have seen a demo or two, Mark.
W. Prepped team. Dinoco and Cuts. They originally had their hands on the bomb, just the two of them. Triple nade don't work out.
This is
damage done on the drop.
This is a Red Canids team that pretty badly, I feel like, needs some more LAN opportunities in general. Like for most of like this Red Canids project for Cold, the whole idea is to be able to qualify for LANs like Pro League. I feel like they haven't had that many opportunities, so this is important for them.
Ooh, Venom shut down after even a dink real quick. So got to get that through, particularly Court of Drop, who's already down to 17 health. You've been kind of boxed out of this, and the Canids seem pretty intimidated by this, but I think with which the point they have all this money, it can be cool with maybe letting this one go. That seems like the decision.
I mean, I think that you look at this and it's sort of the technically correct call. It does feel really bad giving up a Tech 9 round like this. And ultimately, you know, that little demo review we were talking about, I mean, it really does the job, even though it doesn't get to kill those 3 nades. I think if Drop's a little more healthy, he's willing to stick around. He's not sitting on the op, and instead, he's got a rifle. There's probably a lot more to do in that retake if that's not the case. And so Flamengo take very well advantage of that. As we get deeper into this half, Mark, that's the issue that I think playing so far off mid can have. So keep an eye on it.
Flamengo in a different call right now. coldzera where he needs to be. A great shot connecting in an opening frag. They're trying to chase him down. VSM has had that number, had it on Cat just a couple rounds ago, but it's just VSM that's teasing about this. They actually just leave him to do his work. So trying to box up these fights, it's Cowis that puts the tape on VSM. That's a great look. And I think everything that they were trying to fool has just been kind of whipped back into shape. The Canids know what's going on.
Oh, but they have no idea that Cuts is here. Cuts is so deep. He's heard the rotation. He knows there's someone in CT. He's calling that out to the rest of the team. It's an aggressive fight from Drop, but Cuts is ready. Nothing goes right. The bomb, it's being shepherded back over to A as there's so much space.
Kawa's on a fine line. Had what seemingly was kind of the scare of the round put away. That trade onto VSM and now left alone. A well-played round. Cuts does find his way through the kneel. All you gotta work on is that timing. You said pay attention to how exactly they are kind of hands-off on middle. That's a boost in the window that exposes it again.
It seems like that's always the way that things can go wrong for Red Canids on the CT side. Not that they will, they can. It's a fantastic shot out of Cowis.
You see the way that him, Drop, and Venomzera, just get him a goodbye, man.
I just really feel like they're... When I said it's scary to see Red Canids shooting this confidently, like that's not something I'm just saying. It's very true. There is the capability, I think, for Red Canids to beat almost anyone when they have the right pieces at a super high level individually. And I think that's particularly hard when Flamengo are a team that I described as an upset team. Well, that upset potential goes down pretty highly when you have such individuals going crazy.
We'll see if they can't continue. Even if it isn't flashy, it's been slow and steady. Flamengo have found kind of a gap for 2 rounds in a row. Got that op recovered back in the hands of coldzera. But if they can't make it 3, then they may be able to actually kind of crack the bank account here and really kind of take a bit of a foothold in this first half a little bit. Start running a bit of their own offense.
Yeah, here's where things need to change. I think more aggressive stance in mid is required. Cold's going to take a peek, but nobody's going to give him that fight. Fast towards B, it seems. At least that's the setup. All right, VSM been successful here last round. Try and see if they can work him into another pick early. It doesn't seem like they've been given that chance, and so Flamengo will hold back.
That's going to be one hell of a way to start conditioning this B anchor, though. 2 times in a row you threaten that fight, especially with VSM of all people. You get this back now, and in a minute 20, well, you know what way to go. It's likely going to be kind of in path the middle to kind of let up the play to whichever extremity you want to kind of see to. They line up this window smoke, if I do assume correctly. There it is on the way, as Drop does refresh his smoke as well. Right, Canids, they do have a loose but actually pretty great hold to find out some information right now, at least.
And this is actually shaping up to be a real nice B split. Mark, they forced out Ponter's smoke from the very beginning. That was that conditioning you just talked about. Now, it's a reaction for Red Canids to mid control being lost. So they're going to send Cowes up. So Ponter's going to be really alone. It's really up to Cowes right now, and he's caught a perfect timing. Drop off and just take that win. It's a huge dub. BSM's gone. And how about another?
Goes back for more. Ponter himself now has Cowes right at his hip. He goes down with nothing else, and now with that rotation and all the time acquired, Drop gets 1 kill and can see about stopping a bomb plant right now. Sees it carry over to default. History has got to disrespect this smoke, and what a decision made down. That's barely enough time to get this on to default, and they do. So Flamengo, they got to take this down and make it a 3rd in a row. It's swiftly off of it. So now History all the way shuttered into E-boxes, lying in the cut and away for a clutch. Can't land the shots, and coldzera outside of his own wheelhouse has got that down, and a defuse to put the cap on 6th and throw Flamengo off of their start.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of intuition between coldzera and coldzera that I've seen that's built up over the last year or two, you know, playing together, and that's another one of those moments where, you know, Cold just has the trust in Venom to jump out with the USP. They know where History's located, and they're sort of lucky that works out the way that it does, because, man, Drop made a little bit of a boneheaded call to jump out of window. It was an ambitious one. I'd say if I'm putting it kindly, he's playing the numbers, hoping that History isn't already in position to punish him.
Good nade to those players right under window. As Cowes walks on. Out from Cat this round, VSM. Is that queued up audibly? Gonna be a phase on these smokes. Which way this kill does go down. Gotta know what's on the board here, and Cowes has found him. Doesn't even want to wait his turn. That's a great way to go. Stay on top of things and not let 7 slip out right now.
Well, this is that back and forth with regard to mid control I've just been talking about basically the whole game. Is how Flamengo try and punish it, and how Red Canids can take countermeasures. That's one of those countermeasures that Cowes has just found. Don't let him get up into that smoke. That's how Cuts Moretz got that triple kill that did Flamengo their 2nd round.
The time is a factor here as well. You just get a shot down. It's Dinoco that's now going to have to work by himself, so the actual hit off the extremity is going to have to be hard. And now it's all being teased from Palace. What do you do if you were cloaked behind the smoke? It's literally nothing. You have to stay back and unfortunately just take it. It's going to be a 7th year for the Canids. This is not even going to be taken forward. You got to save these 3 guns.
I mean, honestly, I feel like you gotta go for that. Like, you gotta fight for that a little bit. That's kind of what my vibe is, mostly because, bro, what are you gonna have next round? I mean, I know there's these guns, but these guns without utility are gonna be tough. Dinoco at least gonna be able to purchase up, get history back is up, you know, and even history's got some cash, so there could be a Mac 10 or something tossed that way. Yeah, the utility is just going to be pretty sparse for Flamengo. To be fair, they are really deep into this half. We're heading into 10th round, and 2 is not enough.
Not even close. Not even close. Flamengo are much better than this. This is where they expected the best of themselves today. This is where they wanted to straight up challenge the Canids for a map that they're very damn good at. Now they're trying to challenge right on a catwalk. Cowboys has a Molotov ready for it. It's going to be placed right in their face. It's automatic from this B site. Ponter has to be ready for what approaches from these apartments. Approach back in. coldzera just can't get this respect right over the smoke. Ponter chimes in again onto Cat. He still hasn't even finished this onto Delboni. What great work from these pair on B. It's shut down. It's 8 for the Canids. This is a dominating Mirage right now. One-sided in this first half.
I mean, Callis really is a rock at the moment. He is hard to find, hard to remove, difficult in so many locations. He was in window. He's on cat. He's helping, you know, a jungle. Like, there's just so many positions that he is finding impact from. A little bit of a half buy. Get what you can afford, a bit of utility to facilitate Flamengo out to the A-bomb site. That's the plan. In round 11. Make sure you can buy next. 2 fleeting victories. It just feels like a long way away.
They've got now quite far to this position, even with these smokes down. You have to have that second step with the response. It's a double that's put out where you do have a bit of respect for that bomb plant. That smoke, I think, was dropped onto default, just trying to box himself out a little bit of space. They take advantage. coldzera will manage, though. They're coming in just slowly from CT. They'll net this first kill. This would have to go very wrong for the Canids, who do have this all boxed up. It's the only thing going against them right now. 3 through CT.
Been a little more utility for Callis. They've got a couple of smokes. Should be easy. That's a big win from Ponter. Now, freebie should be there. Everybody's got a kit. Somebody can get on.
Oh,
Delboni. No. All right. Nice shot on a cold, but we'll recover the up. Ponter's hoping to keep his AK. And you know what? It doesn't matter. Cold's got 10K.
Got all that bank at this point. Trying to go back and find the last time that Flamengo have lost a Mirage this bad. I've seen plenty of times them put up a scoreline just like this against teams that just aren't ready for it. Put in their place today.
Oh, stunning. The VSM. And that's what you need from him. It feels like, you know, that's a win condition in so many aspects for this Flamengo team. Is VSM doing some VSM stuff.
Ponter takes it all up through under. They're about to meet up. Ponter was just on this timing, and there is no way in hell. There's got to be that audible cue now, and he realizes it. Trying to get a bit of a tease with some of that utility. VSM is trying to sell something that is not even going to be considered to be bought by the Canids, because they know what's up. Spotted onto one head. Ponter will just try and collect on as many as he can. It's Ponter that executes too.
Nicely done from Ponter. Hold the trigger finger. Just a moment there. Oh, Cowes. He's been unstoppable, but that is one stopping point. Dink up onto VSM. And now they got to worry about the problem that is Ponter. He's still around in the backline somewhere, and the rest of the team's holding A. Cold is in great position.
What a shot. That'll be good, trying to box it out either way. Now Cold in this direction, wanting to put out the first half just like this. It is. It's a 9-3, and every single time we've gotten Red Canids, each member in the limelight. We'll be back after a 3-minute break. A 10-2 pushed away Flamengo's map pick, Vincent. That's even hard for me to get out and say. I didn't really expect this at all. To be honest with you, I expected Flamengo to keep on kind of lighting it on with the hot streak they've been on. Came out cold today, and that's been a surprise.
Well, Red Canids, I think they're the ones who are hot at the moment, and that's the problem for Flamengo more than anything else. What did they see here that slows them down a moment? Red Canids are activating a trap card right now.
There's no way they hear Dinoco, like, I'm not sure if he sprinted up middle there.
Oh,
but
they heard something. They had to have.
Yeah. If Dinoco continues up the stairs here, coldzera is going to get eyes on. See something. Yeah, what are you doing there, pal? coldzera not going to allow this. He's going to shut this down himself. Though Dinoco is going to get out of the vision. Particularly, coldzera makes the contact. Luckily, landed the goosh. And, I mean, it's Red Canids not exactly chasing a ghost right now, but I'm kind of wondering where exactly Flamengo's heads are going to be at after this whole minute kind of doing this.
Yeah, I mean, tragically for for Red Canids. They get the information, but they don't deny Dinoco the information. Meaning Flamengo, they know what's up. Uh-oh, the bomb. The bomb has just been dropped. VSM's got them both.
Whipping himself into shape. This P2K making it happen. He wants to deny the rest of the group. Drop, he's just as firm. And he gets his 13th. Quickly into the A site here. If they go for the default plant, nobody should be able to stop them. And I mean, maybe even taking my suggestion to get that down, but CT, it's under siege. Nothing is going to be taken for free here, especially with all the positioning, connector, ramp, and now this fight into spawn. Cowes is trying to just take them as they come, and he does. He's got both of them taken care of, and it's history now in a 1v1. Has fouled that onto Cold and has an entire 10-second defuse to deal with, and now just has to hunt down Cowes, who we just saw the shadow struck around the corner, but picked up a kit. He could just test his nerve right now. A 5-second defuse, you have the access here with Cowes. He's coming streaking to check that. It's going to be close, but Cowes has got it. 11th secured for Red Canids. They're shooting 100% here on Mirage in these pistols.
Yeah, listen, they called themselves out of a very complicated situation as well. Like you were kind of highlighting, they weren't exactly chasing nothing there, but the fact that Dinoco gets away, it allows for Flamengo to entirely take over the B bomb site. It's theirs, and there's no way out. Red Canids know that they have that information, but it doesn't change the fact that they've got to find a way up through mid. VSM doing heavy lifting as per usual, but it ain't enough to get them to victory. Critical smoke and connector allows them to approach A, and you go from there. The very nice post-plant scenario settled in, and a Cowes 1v1 clutch to finish it up.
Bold rotation to be early. Flamengo know they got to do something with the positioning from Dinoco, who's not here in a ruckus at a ramp, has all this vision into apartments. Well, he says, I got it, guys. Go to B. Make it happen. If they're not there, save the guns. It'll be all good. Potentially that could come into consideration here. I mean, it's a double at ladder. I mean, Red Canids, through where Drop was wanted to put this particularly, has opportunity to get all this info. Dinoco, see what the 79 is made of. The spacing's pretty good between Ponter and Cowes. That's going to be a good clue as to this click. It's trying to be jumping into the lap of Venomzera. He goes down for it, but it's a 3v3, and you have to go for this.
Sometimes there's such thing as too careful, and I think that's what Red Canids were right there. coldzera, he's alone. He's just got another confirmation. Oponi, don't give him a fight. Don't have to. And it looks like he won't. Nades on target, but it isn't enough. Time has expired. coldzera is just hoping he can escape the next round. Yeah, Red Canids, they find the right call and everything, but they honestly don't even make a mistake. They are, in my mind, just a little too careful. Time themselves out so that they need to force and rush the issue once they get into the A site proper.
I think I even, said they have to go for this, as if they even got the bomb down. I lost that detail along the way, because I think the Canids did as well. I mean, it was kind of quick to exactly get onto that type of decision, but with all the room that you did have, it's been pretty nice to see at least that back end Flamengo can reach that far. I'm not sure how long that's going to streak along, because, to be honest with you, I would rather them be overcalling it than undercalling it, Vincent. It was very cautious there from Drop to be kind of singing that in. You saw my praises for them where they were standing inside a ladder. I thought that would have gone well for them getting that information back to A, but Flamengo showed up. There's a possibility with even all the info there. They just go ahead and take everything down.
Yeah. I mean, I think Flamengo in the pretty enviable position themselves, but the fact that they were stacked on B for so long with no contact kind of told them something was up.
This ain't right. Should have been
Something's
something
weird.
coming by now. Too quiet.
That's right. Flamengo, it's a little bit of the same style that they like to play when they don't have all the bells and whistles. So last round, a lot more gambly towards B. See it this round, where they're just off of mid. A little bit of a tentative look with the rifle up on catwalk, and that's VSM.
They're going out of this smoke. At least teasing it. Ponter trying to phase in the front of that. The boost goes down. They just make contact. And now they're trying to see it through. Dinoco, it's a good shot. Trying to get that trade onto Ponter. But the rest of this is just going to be into likely the same arms. coldzera could net a double, but history is online. That's a good couple from CT. And Venom Zera with a good rotation in that same clue. Flamengo should survive to 4. But Cowis has been about as on par about as everybody else in the server. I mean, this guy's been with the best of them. Gets a good check onto the flick, and you see how he just tries to tap onto the head. It's a little bit too much here. Separated from the bomb, it's all the way in T-spawn.
Yeah, a little bit of a detail missed in Red Canids situation this round with the bomb down in that position. And he wants to go down. That's why he's searching for a fight. Cal has the lack of armor. Him not getting anything in the next round would have been making things quite difficult. He wants to keep them on even with the rest of his teammates. Red Canids on for an eco. It's the first of the series.
It may be a bit of a yapping opportunity. Vincent, I have a question through your anecdotal evidence. Have the CT Molly's been any quicker today?
We're not playing on that patch.
Okay, we're not playing on that patch. Good.
Yeah, so no.
I was wondering when my wild card, we just swapped the third map out for Overpass. You guys weren't ready for it, but it's here. It's kind of what happened last night, to be honest. Though I'm never going to hate on that. I'm an Overpass enjoyer through and through.
I am too. I'm just sad that it's Anubis that we lost.
Yeah, but I got a feeling that's going to be whipped back into shape quite quickly.
Oh, I'm sure. It's just criminal behavior that Inferno still is in this pool.
Not much we can agree on.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, though.
Yes.
I'm excited to see, a much more, I guess we'll just say, generally tactical map in the pool.
So many reasons to love it. Wow, a Burning Man. Ponter survives. Even brought with a nade. This is a issue that will be just let for one moment. The bomb squad has arrived alongside the cavalry, and they've got this taken care of. It's a 5th out here for Flamengo and Folk. This should be all good. 5th ain't too bad.
It's a massive W.
Yeah.
Just get the bomb down, grab a kill along the way. I'm thinking that everybody there for Red Canids is going to be happy. Drop more so than anyone. Now he's got a whole lot more tools to work with. He can reach into the strat book. See what these gun rounds look like. Flamengo up against their first true gun round of this half.
Might be just a quick call to go ahead and just handle this on A here by seeing Venom Zera and drop into kind of that same clue. He deals with things by trying to just thread this through middle. It's rather Ponter up in Palace. And it's patient.
I thought we were going to see something more aggressive when BSM dropped out a window to start this round, but he's repositioned back over to A. Doesn't get the immediate fight that he's looking for. Red Canids, on the other hand, they're familiar with this process. They're just working the other side of it right now.
It's basic, but that might be better. Drop with this shot onto Dinoco, and they want to pick this A site apart. VSM trying to shoot up the ladder. Unfortunately, finds himself slipping off at the top. And this will be a interesting line. Oh my gosh, you see this with the X-ray. Just so fine on that with the bomb plant. Delboni, he goes to punish and drop. He's got a second and make that a third in the round. History will go ahead and be running for the hills. We're going to be headed to Ancient soon.
Yeah, I mean, slow, methodical approach to this round. All the bells and whistles for that A exec. Makes life impossible for VSM. He's mollied out. Stuck between two AKs. Those rifles, they've got teeth mark, and I don't think that VSM is having a good time there. History, who you feel pretty bad for, I don't think has had very much opportunity to impact this series yet. Ops have been hard to come by on the T side. He's just getting one now on the CT side, and well, it's 12-5.
And I mean, we're not putting out a hot take by any means by pointing this out, but obviously this is his best point to maneuver this within the series. I mean, you know, probably the next best up on Nuke in the third, at which I really don't like your chances getting there. It's Red Canids pick up right next door to this. An Ancient that Flamengo haven't been terrible on by any means, but they're not giving me much to kind of hope for the best to come, where they would have to overcome a lot, I feel like, on that feat, where you're already sitting in the bed that you have made.
Yeah, I mean, and at the moment, it's a classic VSM, like, performance that is unfortunately lacking support. Especially when you really need the rest of that rifling core and Delboni and Dinoco to be having big impact moments. We've been lacking that. Not really all on their shoulders. I think more to do with strong showings from Red Canids than anything, but truth nonetheless.
Gets that kill. Immediately out of the conversation is dropped, starting with the IGLs. You're trying to run it back. Getting that all the way to cuts at an empty filler. Not just ended with him.
Look at how much utility they just tossed in reaction to that. Flamengo, or I mean, they're playing scared.
They should know better. That's literally one of the real kind of teased plays to the T side that they kept running to condition, was just kind of throw your head into the wall at upper B and try and scare the B anchor so much at the start of the round. They get caught.
It's just not the B anchor alone. It's, you know, the rotator coming in. Now they've lost a lot of space at middle. It's kind of all gone to plan for Red Canids in that aspect. But there's 50 seconds left. Mark, they got to get this thing moving pretty soon.
Venomzera not going to make that contact until kind of things are done and dusted right now. It's a good look by Cowes, but immediately you're going to get cut through the numbers. And Venomzera left alone. Attempt an interesting conversation at a clutch, but he's shut up real quick. It is 6 that separate Flamengo from overtime. This is where the path starts.
That it does, yeah. And a bit of a reset onto the Red Canids economy, meaning that they're down pretty bad at the moment. They can't afford a full purchase. Going to get pistols and armor. Which, of course, still a threat, but a whole lot better than the alternative.
So, Vincent, Misfit was playing with LP right before this on stream versus Elevate. That's where we know he was getting active. Yes.
Okay.
There were a whole lot of moves that were, you know, trotting along with, obviously with, you know, the information that we've heard about with 9Z and stuff like that. We have XW7M up with 2 new players out on the back end, VSD included. We'll get into all those gritty details later on. It's an exciting feat for one of the first big events back after the player break. To see all these moves kind of trickling out. Here go these pistols. The Red Canids can see into history, who fades into the smoke, but really kind of getting decked on the loose, and they're going to be trying to chase him through that situation. Red Canids, they get close, and they have enough respect for a bomb plant. There's nobody throwing their bodies through this to shut it down.
Yeah, a lot of spam, and to be fair, quite a bit of it connected. All of Everybody is in CT. Holy cow. And look at that. Red Canids, good decision making. They get into jungle. At least give themselves a chance. It's going to be tough.
Sliding out, Dinoco next to drop. He gets that in a good shot. They're all stuffed into jungle here and trying to get out of it by the nade or by the AK shots that were chasing you down. Particularly, it would have came with that alley in that lane. 7th up for Flamengo. I did not expect this to be creeping up into the scoreboard when we are coming in a 10-2 half.
Yeah, I mean, there's still a 5-round deficit, so as much as Flamengo are starting to make this look competitive, this is only the second real gun round as well. So they won the first. To be fair, I guess that's the third gun round. Red Canids won the previous one of those that I was referring to. Oh my gosh, they're just sending it.
Gotta be ready to go. Banging out on the A site. Molotov is going to go under Dinoco. He is toasted. Swinging for out bench. And right now it's still Boney that's going to be sitting with 1 kill in its own right. coldzera going to have to attempt to clutch right to go on A. Molotov to do it. Potentially see this thing out with a bit of style. If this is going to be actually folded and attempted. But that's where coldzera is creased. It's going to be an 8th for Flamengo now. And a quick trot in the uppercut punch is denied.
Man, Flamengo are kind of making their way back into this thing. You know, I've been holding back on the inclinations that you were saying.
Exactly. Don't call it a comeback.
But I mean, they're starting to make this a real thing. Canids just tip their toes into the final tactical timeout, and to be honest, I feel like last time they used one, I don't really know where it led, but that A hit, probably not it. What they're trying for, I guess if I were to play devil's advocate, just a little bit of surprise factor. And if, I think it was Venom Zera, or it might have been Drop, either way, third guy out ramp. If he had been able to find that kill into Del Boni on site, then we would have been having a very different conversation, because it would have been a post-plant 2-on-2, but thankfully Del Boni able to hit the shot. That's another critical piece. You know, I talked about he and Dinoco kind of being missing from this Flamengo T side. Like, Del Boni's really woken up on the CT side.
Newest member that joined. A very young man in those shoes before. You pull in a 20-year-old player, you replace him with a 27-year-old player, Vincent. There's an expectation there for experienced players like that to be able to turn games around like that, kind of in that fashion. Had a good rotate out into B, you just mentioned, out to A rather. Into history immediately, missed shot. And it would be kind of anticlimactic for this to go with the pistols, so this needs to be a solid round for Flamengo, who do kind of box out with the kill, but with the bomb plan and the hardware that's currently on, this isn't so much impossible that you just getting that on. Cuts is still even looking for that lurk. They're trying to be so concerned right now. Dipping it in out, Vincent.
This is tough. They got to set Drop up for success, and they do set him up, but he loses out. Cold hits a nice one from Apex, but Kawaz all alone. And now no, and he doesn't even get the confirmation. The bomb not planted for him. He'll take the money and run.
Now, hold on.
Stick up.
He's got that. Hold on to that full armor set. Kawaz is a valuable life, Vincent, but kind of is definitely slowed down from that first half. Was one of the first guys that we were really kind of putting on that tally, but it's kind of where we can put our thumb on it finally. I mean, it's so clear the Red Canids have the firepower in this game. They have lost belief in themselves. It's just kind of shaking themselves into shape for one more round, Vincent. And I think I've seen enough here to make me hope for Ancient, to be honest with you.
I'm really disappointed right now with Drop T side as well. I feel like we have not seen very much of Red Canids' playbook, and part of that is because it was so unsuspecting. This 9-12 scoreline kind of snuck up on Red Canids, as crazy as that sounds. But on the other side of it, I mean, we just got to see a little bit better.
Getting out towards A here, and this is where VSM can come to crawl, and at this point, he's taking it all with the jaws. It's 3 right here, and what a shutdown. Flamengo, it took a while for them to rev up online, but they are here. They have met you on this Mirage. You've gone to 23 rounds now, and the Red Canids have been thrown out of the function.
Brother, why do we keep seeing this A exec? It's been not very good almost every time, and they've gotten a plethora of different looks at it.
There's not even... Okay, we're not live. Yeah, I was gonna say. There's no way they're just not gonna buy anything. It'll be all good. But they've been shut down time and time again on that A site, right to go. Where I feel like
want you to know.
Where you saw cuts there in the minimap waiting for that lurk, they've been so paranoid about B.
I briefly saw coldzera have a kit there for a second, and I was like, what? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah, I think just to kind of put the cap on my criticisms here of what I've been seeing from Red Canids T side, I've actually been pretty happy with this previously, and on Mirage especially, but I just don't think we've seen very much of this playbook. That mid default, I guess is what you could call it, that last round was really careless. You know, that's the type of fight that history will take every day. There's not a flash for him. The second phase of that mid take usually has a flash associated with it, but because only one man is supporting that, there isn't one. And I'm just not quite sure why we've seen such carelessness from Red Canids. That's the question mark. And then, you know, you give VSM a little bit of space, bro's gonna start cooking with it.
I mean, I can try and put my thumb on it, right, with a 10-2 half into a pistol round victory. Yeah, let's, for lack of a better word, let's troll about a bit. Let's try and find something to just, you know, hammer this game home. And I feel like I, you know, pitched that concept as if, you know, that was rolled out in the next, like, 2 or 3 rounds. At some point, Red Canids just kept falling. And it's gotten to the point at which we're sitting right here in this tech pause. So get a breath in this time, if anything. You've got to figure something out.
I mean, I don't know if there's time for breathing. I know, you know, that's not exactly what you're talking about, but I'm saying that, you know, the time for taking a breather is kind of over. It's 10 to 12. All right? We've been playing with the idea of not calling it a comeback. Well, bro, it's a comeback. They're back. They're here. Red Canids, I mean, this is when you turn to that page that every in-game leader has in their book that is titled something along the lines of, get me 1 round. You know, and maybe you have 1 or 2, maybe 3 strats cooked up for that with a little gimmick involved. That's what Red Canids need right now.
So it seems like we're going to be paused for a moment. But I have some interesting information I just found out.
Yes.
Brazilian player Landon, who's currently teamless, has joined...
formerly of ESL Laser.
Exactly. Former Pain as well. You want to track down the list. He's worn a lot of jerseys in his time. He joins MIBR as a coach.
Oh, interesting. He is up there in years. He used to op, I think, for ESL Laser.
This is correct.
And of course,
I believe as an analyst.
Yeah, I was going to say, isn't JNT over there as a coach?
This is correct.
No? They're really adding in oppers to the staff, I tell you what.
Yeah, really.
Well, we've memed it up sufficiently. I appreciate that, by the way. Breaking news.
Yes, he says he is going full nerd mode in his post, so that is analyst talk if I've ever heard it.
Yeah, push us up glasses. Got it. I can do this. We are back into the mix here. The Red Canids half by this round so they can get the full invest. And hey, the B side exists, at least on Ecos.
About time. And they're teasing this. It's just not a straight up Q. In the underpass, they do decide to set out a little bit. They have 2 back-to-back. And Cold's still checking on A. Cowes gets taken out on his fret, and there's just not a clear way forward in this round for me. I mean, really, what was the end game right here?
I mean, you know, the hope and the prayer is that something works a little bit better on that investigation out the apartments, but yeah, a little bit split, a little bit poorly timed, and a little bit freaking dead is Ponter. How has this gotten here? I think, you know, Red Canids just not giving respect over to Flamengo. It felt like they believed that they could throw their head at a brick wall and then the brick wall would eventually break. Well, Flamengo, they've hardened and they have stood tall. We could be seeing overtime. One final gun around to proc that.
This has got to
see what Red Canids have drawn up.
Please.
I mean, this has got to be better.
Red Canids can't get away with this and win the map. That's why I'm asking for it. Unless they put a stamp on it right here.
At least a little different look. Finally, we're seeing some, you know, mid-control. They did this, I'm going to say once this half, maybe twice. But, you know, a slow, methodical mid-take.
History looking for something. Just saw the foot walk by. Nailing off on a drop, and bad news. IGL ripped out. What a great play there by History to find an opening kill.
That's why you don't see that lineup as often anymore, by the way. There's just a little possibility. Now, I call that a little unlucky, but Red Canids, you've already wasted your unlucky moments on this half. Credit to History, who's been consistent. It's he and VSM, Delboni stepping up. 4-on-5 for Red Canids. They've got mid-control. Seems destined that this could end towards A. But they're going to need something.
Cuts put this in a really good place for his A site. But they're all on the right side of this fold. Ponter would have to find one hell of a cue, one hell of a timing. He's going to see the bunny kind of streak out, and he's just got to find the frag. And he does. It's 24 rounds here on this Mirage, and it's stamped. We're going to overtime, Vincent.
I mean, this is silly. It's truly silly that we're here, but you know what? Flamengo, they did all the right things, and I think they deserve a lot of credit for that. Heating back up, get Delboni back into form, History coming back and having some big performances, and it's not like multi-frags that he's necessarily had, but I want to point him out for how well he stayed alive under a lot of A hits. It can be really easy for those pistols to start to close the distance and put you in a tough spot. And then shout out him on that last round for manufacturing an opening pick where really he didn't get one. He wasn't handed that opportunity, he made it.
Crafty with the nade. And now the revenge comes through, especially dropped with all 30 bullets needed to find History there.
Sweet, sweet revenge. What is happening? Red Canids are playing with Moxie right now.
I mean, he practically gets 3 kills in middle, just all by himself. VSM is down to 8. What a great round by Drop right here, but it's still not over. You have to be able to thread this knot.
I mean, it really should be over, to be honest. These are great post-plant positions. That nade's going to take down Delboni pretty heavily. They've got somebody in Palace, and Dinoco's going loud.
Coward should have had that shot. But
Yeah.
this stint, it's going to be kind of that much more difficult up the hill, especially with this all the way on a line. There's no players out of CT to break this. And now it's going to be a flash into triple. Ponter now sees this. PSM just got the CT, who nets the kill onto Venom Sarah and a double onto Ponter. How the hell is this happening? VSM is in this smoke, and they have got it in the bag. But do they? Absolutely they do. 13 for Flamengo by the skin of their teeth.
Rather, Red Canids, they had what should be an unlosable post plant. Cowas had an unwhiffable kill, and he whiffed it anyway. I don't know. Red Canids kind of crumbling. I think Drop playing a good game. I think a lot of criticisms for that T side, but he looked a new man, and the call there I think was good too.
If you're just tuning in at the start of this overtime, you just saw that first round. Well, that's what happened. Red Canids were up 11-2, essentially. That's exactly what brought us here. An unlosable situation brought right to that bare minimum. And Vincent, it's worth noting that Flamengo just took the lead for the first time. If I am confident to say that, I do believe for the entire game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I'm glad you mentioned that because it kind of missed it in the fact that we are sitting at 13-12. My mind is blown. Another little different look for Red Canids at the very least. This mid control has a lot more to it. They're trying to search for fights. They're looking for duels. And VSM, oh, he's just found one. No, Cowas. What a great first half, but a stinker right now that he's putting up. Missed utility, missed shots, missed opportunities. Thankfully, he's got backup.
Flamengo just recovered from an opening kill loss. It was history dragged out of bottom middle by Drop. This time it's VSM. That's obviously a large matter within this Mirage. With how much he has been putting out on this defense. Red Canids, they go back to A. History patiently waiting here. But the three players here finally meeting a mismatch potentially, Vincent, into the weaker side.
Yeah, and it's all because Flamengo just flash pushed, looked into a main. They saw nothing at ramp, and so now they adjust. All up to history. It's kind of been leading to this. He's had so many of these moments, but 10 seconds is not a lot.
History gets this shot, and they count it down to 5. History is online. What a play. And they have just denied it. All from Delboni. All from Catwalk. All in a matter of 1 second. Flamengo 2 rounds in this overtime, but Red Canids should be up to 14.
2 times. It's been a 5v4. 2 times. Red Canids have had everything you could want and more. It's one man in defense. History has 40 health and an AWP. There's nothing that should be stopping the Canids, but they timed themselves a little bit too short, a little bit too low, and no utility to cover connector gives Delboni freebies. And speaking of, how easy do you want to make it for history? Apparently pretty darn easy is the answer for Red Canids.
Let's see how they start around if it goes well. I mean, at this point, Flamengo can't be stopped on that margin. But Red Canids, they may have seen way to an opening kill. They may have heard your criticisms from regulation. It's that A site that kept hitting up, it kept getting shut down. They're going to be here whether it's the end of the half, whether it's last play they can call up or not. They need something to turn the tides. Denoco handles the back end of this from middle and continues to find each branch of this setup. This is getting torn apart. It is on this B site, and Drop is just going to be around this. History, he's sneaking through the smoke onto Julies. I think he was just seen, and he has got coldzera on it. Drop is a man alone, and he is a man in cuffs. 15 rounds for Flamengo. They are lighting it up here on Mirage. What a comeback. It's an unbelievable fashion.
I just don't know what to say. Again, Red Canids, if we're kind of going to put some criticism there, I feel like Drop's kind of had to do it on his own. Look at the kill participation here from the second half onward. Haunter, Venom, Zera, and Cold, they might have maybe 10 frags on the second half plus overtime between the three of them, and I think that's being probably pretty generous, actually. And I don't think it comes down to just that, but man, that certainly hurts. It's cold. Big way to bail yourself out of a tough half is to pick up an opening duel, but this is by no means a free win.
Currently looking at the recipe for wins, though. Lose an opening player somehow. This is tracking along for Flamengo in the recent margin. But not in this fashion. Gotta land it on this offense. Flamengo were shut down by coldzera in that first half. He's one and then done. It's a good start with even on that scent, considering they're already seeing into a man advantage. How do you take your next step here?
I don't know how you do. You need to move. There's no more smokes as these start to fade. Final flash has just been invested. Now it's about duels, and it's not pretty from Canids. How about Cold? He's got a second. And how to get the bomb planted.
Doesn't do it. Bomb plant where it was about to finish gets denied, and Red Canids provide all what they need. It was kind of anticlimactic, but there. They get the spam. It's all the way set through. This time they don't let go of the man advantage. And on this CT side, there's a little life.
I mean, they did have 10 rounds on the CT side. You got to give them that. But I think credit to Cold, right? He's getting involved with the AWP. Big opening duel. Stays alive and catches another one on the entryway. Over towards A. And the Venom's era goes down. As long as he gets traded, which is what happened, then they're just fine. Flamengo getting two more opportunities to close this in OT number 1.
Flamengo just have to see themselves out of the kind of setting that you saw Red Canids fall through. Something where they couldn't find a play to land on. The real vibe in which you could find the frequency to deliver that round. Back in the middle, they try to actually test this late. It's a good crawl.
Yeah, I like the look of things. Late into Palace's Dinoco as well. Venom's era is, I'm going to say, pretty alone. He's got coldzera for support, but I was going to say there's plenty of utility. A bunch of that's just been dropped by VSM going down, and Dinoco falls as well. That's the other big kit.
Drop about to check in, and he's working on it. Got history out of the conversation now. And this equation just became a whole lot worse for Flamengo, who are now forced to contend with potentially a second overtime.
All right, Red Canids, I guess, just decided to show up. coldzera basically going opless on the T side, which is not unusual. Not usually a bad look either. But he picks it up into overtime, into the CT side, and he's been critical with it now for 2 rounds straight. Gotta work your way through one more map point, though. Might just find a way to do it.
And that's a big name that they get down. It may be into second OT right here. History, for sure, in a 1v5. This is going to be a very tough look. We've gotten here, Red Canids. They found a little bit of something here on that Mirage where we thought they're completely burned out of gas. They're running on fumes right now, if anything, then.
They're barely running. You know what? A wake up at the very last moment's better than nothing. Oh, that's poor history. I think he's DC'd. I think he has DC'd to close out. On OT number 1, we're going to another one. Red Canids, they had themselves 7 chances. 7 chances in regulation, and they could not close. Flamengo get 3 in the first overtime period, and Red Canids wake themselves up, shake themselves to a point where they can get back. Looks like history not DC'd, but certainly something wrong. We'll get a little pause on that one.
Seems like we're all patched up. That's how these things are supposed to go. A quick reconnect to the server. It's supposed to work, man. It's Source 2. How about it?
You got the technology.
We do.
Moving right now, Flamengo with some purpose. Bomb towards B. Haunter seen. Maybe the fourth with nade on this B site. It's not been a good place for nades.
Trying to get a spam out. Cow is chasing him away from apartments. Just get as much of a lead as you can on this CT side. So you can then box it all the way into a good key. VSM, that's the opener you want. Ponter on a tally. The beginning of this Mirage was filled with his name, filled with big plays between Cowboys and Ponter. In between this B site, things have changed since then. Or Canids, they have to rotate in with the 3 players that they do have, all the way to the market side, and they're smoked out. Nothing is phasing them from Missile Pillar.
Might as well go. It is overtime. Big damage done onto history as well. That's already been taken off the cut. That nade's going to be even chunkier. It doesn't quite do as much damage as Cuts puts up the op. And oh my lord, Cuts has got both of them. A no-scope for just the class.
Gold can get a quick cut. Nothing to be carried out of this. A great turnaround for Flamengo through VSM. Kind of just rev up there as the split was wounded but on. And they box out Ponter with no kill. That was the key.
Yeah, I mean, and then Cowes goes down too on Catwalk. You know, that duo bit was basically unstoppable in the first half of regulation. They find the opening onto both of those, and Flamengo, they hold on to the site. You know, the difference between Flamengo and Right Canids, when they get a site, they hold it, and they win the round when it's a 5-on-3. They're looking to speed this up, basically run the same move again if history were to have gotten that opening duel. He doesn't get the look, eats the nade, but now they're just going to sit. Maybe walk this up. I think that Molotov starts to give it away, though.
Smoking window. Ponter in that jump right out. Flamengo, we're testing a whole lot right now on the other side of the line. This could be the kill that they need. At least that information on the drop. He's so close to VSM right now. And hones in on that angle to find this into a 30-second man advantage that it's put into a tally where Delboni goes to just try and be so bothersome on the extremity. It's catching up to them, Vincent, but so is the clock.
Callis gets leveled. Venom goes down with nothing. Now Ponter arrives back on scene. B-Anchor. He's now going to have to defend the A bomb site. 10 seconds. All he's got to do is deny this bomb plant at a crucial time. But a fantastic flashbang. Oh! Might have done it, but the bomb goes down anyway. I thought Cold had denied it. And when history takes Cold out, Ponter 1v3 doesn't even start. Flamengo, twice in a row. They pulled this back. 2 rounds straight. They couldn't find a single T round in the first OT period. Now they've got 2 of them. Attack timeout taken by Flamengo. And you know what, Mark? I think that Red Canids look a little bit like their jaw is dropped. Like they can't believe it's OT number 2. And I don't blame them. I can hardly believe it myself.
Yeah, this is, a bizarre feeling. Never one that I don't think you're really going to have to kind of overthink. Be in the moment right now. Be at the point at which you know you're kind of one step away from when you put 3 in a row out of this first half of the OT number 2. VSM taps out. These are the starts that Flamengo want. Huge kills, so much space taken on both lanes. They're trying for it all right now.
Just got to collect the bomb. They have the B site. Flamengo, how can they hold on to it? Puncher's actually arriving. This is a little bit scary. I'm a little bit miffed at how off this timing that Flamengo are. Poncher's found his way back in. Cuts holding it up. And he's not really looking for this. He's not aware. Oh, and now Poncher's absolutely going to be aware. He loves this spot. This is his spot.
This is perfect. Oh my god. Slip the net for 3. Ponter is about to spoil it all right now. And Ponter does. He has a second on it. That's good enough. Hopping back down to the bomb site. History takes this route right into the crosshairs of Venomzera, and he is gone. Delboni has to track them down and can't. Slippery around that side of the pillar is Venomzera for that final into a double. A full house between Venom and Ponter. What a end to that second half. First half of overtime number 2. Excuse me.
Ah, man. I tell you what, Ponter, not the greatest of games overall from him, but man, does he find these moments of huge impact. He just sits and waits. Then he finds that he has the perfect opportunity, and he strikes at the precise timing that he is required. That was lovely from Ponter. No notes, no nothing, no additions. Now you just got to take a little bit of stock of the situation. Red Canids lost 7 map points in a row. 7 on this T side. I said that it looked lost, and it looked like we didn't even see half of the strat book. To be honest, that A site getting a lot of overuse. Now Red Canids, they got to keep their minds about themselves. They purchased a little reprieve via that Ponter triple kill. It should have been another 3-round stretch in the first half of overtime for Flamengo. Slow and steady. The Canids want to play this a little bit more carefully, and I think I would agree with them.
You could say that confidently because it's the same play too, right? Going into mid control and then having this execute outside A. Flamengo were comfortable to read this too, but I think you come down exactly to what the problem was. The execution just wasn't there. Actually have to hit those shots kind of in that motion. But I'm not seeing the energy that's very different right now. This is really unconfident from the Red Canids, and this is for 18 on the Flamengo side.
Looks good, though. I mean, there's definitely a lot to like about this AXA.
Can he potentially get a second here? History holding on for too long to punish at Apex with 30 seconds instead of Delboni. And now he's getting the lineup that he's so wished for. Getting that out of middle as well. Cuts here at all the HP, and an attempted bomb plant at default. Cuts just can't help himself. A lineup in 18 rounds for Flamengo. They're the ones trying to chase down Pro League right here against so much experience.
It's so painful to see the attempted plant there when Venomzera has a full kit of utility. He's got a smoke, he's got a molly, and he's got a flash. Anything could have set that up or denied vision from Cuts Moretz. And we see none of it. Like I said, Red Canids feel like they crumble under this pressure right now. And it's crazy to think that it's the pressure from being ahead, not from being down, but now they're down. Nearly out. 2 more chances for Flamengo to start to put this one to bed.
Bombs to middle this time. coldzera with hands on that AWP as well. Nobody's looking for Flamengo. You gotta force this all the way to top con into a scope to get the first opportunity. Oh, still Boney goes a little bit further. Please keep fading like this, he says to the Molly, because what an opportunity for Delboni, and he tries to take the rest. Can't blame a guy for trying, but there is the entire A-site Brian. BSM, he is just cutting through this Molly, and they know where he is, but has that stopped BSM before? The answer is no in this case, but he's got 2 for it, at a 2v2 now, magic number 19, and Cuts up to gamble again.
He's got a good timing. They don't know where he's at, and they've got to cross back towards the site proper. Ponter's going to plant, but there's no way for coverage. Cold is a mile away, and the bomb dropped in the open. 30 seconds, plenty of time, and Cuts just wants to fight. Fight he will, but without his primary, the secondary is not enough. Cold collects a clutch. Many a time we've asked for him to come alive, and now is that time.
coldzera is here. Never fades away. It was just too easy to serve it up for Cuts. The free kill immediately drawn into a 1v1. You fumble, just even a myth at a minimum. coldzera will collect. Red Canids, they got time for a third OT. Ain't going nowhere today. Otic might have to wait a little bit longer, though. That's alright.
Yeah, them and XW7M not loving it, but
you can wait.
You know what? That's right. They can indeed wait. Red Canids. So important because, to be honest with you, Flamengo are not the team that they come into this event worried about. That's, not meant to be disrespectful, but Flamengo, they're a team that are searching for that upset. They're not a team that have probably their sights set on a Pro League spot. That incredibly unlikely. But Red Canids, like I said at the beginning of this show, Mark, Red Canids are a team all about making qualification to events like Pro League.
Absolutely. I think that was, where we could have taken the conversation earlier, where we were going off about the 3 players that were taking control of the game and going, well, this is the firepower of Red Canids, and this is where the calling can go. And, where we kind of serve this up, and at 11-2, this is probably the best of Red Canids and how they should be, seeing into an opposition like Flamengo, which I think, as we can see right now, is up to the challenge pretty damn well against a team like Red Canids. I think they would have, loved to serve up a scoreline like they did. But then it's the all classic. We know this to be the story of Red Canids, to shake it all the way down. It gets complicated for it. But it doesn't mean that they're currently out. They need to push the third OT. And that margin, I think we're asking for a lot. It's an opening start that they get the better of, however.
I'll tell you, Cold, Poncer, Venom, they've all 3 of them really, kind of struggled in a lot of the second half to close, to have big impact. Well, Cold's taking control. Ponter had that huge 3K round. Venom's had a couple of moments now. A little bit of a return to form to push us to a third. That's the requirement. They've got the opening pick, but what was it you said? The recipe for a victory for Flamengo starts with a man disadvantage.
For some reason. Sunoco on stairs. Well, not sure he's following how exactly you're supposed to cook, but on this temperature, it's Red Canids. They are rising to the top. Potentially that same conversation to come in vain for history. That would have to throw up one hell of a Hail Mary. Put another coffee on if you're falling asleep in this Mirage. We have OT3 coming up.
If you're falling asleep, how is that possible? High octane all the way through. Red Canids, disparate in their post-plant setup, but strong, and that there seems no way to break this. It's going to take history so long to start to make a commitment. He's just confirmed. One man in jungle. Oh, and the worry's going to eat him alive. He's just got to set his sights on the bomb, but that bomb, it ain't going nowhere. Ponter says, how about a third overtime? We continue to keep moving.
Yeah, this Mirage ain't going nowhere. At a certain point, we thought Ancient was guaranteed within a break's time, within a couple moments' notice. He would have been headed to a map number 2. Not on today. You were saving the best for the back end of this Mirage. Well, we have 3 overtimes to really sell that for you. Red Canids, they get another set of downs on this T side.
That they do. One miss window smoke. Maybe a little something to take advantage of. Red Canids not going to see anything. History's made this move a couple of times.
Oh.
Unfortunately, he didn't realize that they had missed windows, so a bit of a spoiler. I think Cowes has actually heard this. Perfect timing on this lurk. And Delboni, you seen? He gets his gun out? Are you serious?
What a
Cowes.
kill. I can't even believe that, Vincent. Cowes gets so much taken back there. He makes every single part of that play right. That is going to be so frustrating with Flamengo. See if now they can operate on that same margin. Ponter, he box out, slides out for a timing moment. Can't get that second. Denoco, he's good.
3v4. Red Canids, all 3 stacked up in middle. It's a long way back over to that A site.
Back up. Denoco gets that second. That's off the top of Ticket. All these have come so close on these post plants. All 2v2s. All so close to the details. Can't land on the spam. coldzera boxed up in this con corner to trip wire up. Cuts. He lets him pass. Stays hidden. Screams that to drop within the VC, who may just have to land notice for another moment. Tapped on it once. coldzera got to box it out off the bomb, and now Cuts. He has to pivot, but drop is in the pocket. Red Canids have a lead in the 3rd overtime on this Mirage.
And they take it back. They have not led since overtime began. It's been 12 rounds that the Red Canids have been up against the wall. 5 chances for Flamengo to close map number 1 before Red Canids get another lead. And you know what, Mark? I'm pretty sure Cowes ended the first half at about 20 kills. Look at where he's at right now. It kind of spells what has been a terrifying fall off of frustration that the Red Canids have had to really dig deep inside in order to correct, in order to find a solution. And that solution has been a huge couple of moments from Cold. Ponter with some big ideas and a continuation of consistency from the fragging output of Drop.
Yeah, this is a beaming deficit. Just particularly with some of your individuals. I think it's fine. It's Cowes, right? I think we were joking earlier, right? I mean, this is one of the few players that we do have with plenty of Pro League experience. But here, particularly in the online portion, I mean, it's gotten more hectic than ever. And even at this rate, it looks like we're dropping members, but not for too long. Ponter is back.
Yeah, some good news. At least we'll get things figured out faster. But I will say that Flamengo, the deeper we get into this overtime, the more I feel like their chances maybe have passed. I say that because, 5 chances to beat Red Canids, 5 chances to just fund that one round and you don't. Where does that leave you now?
I think we made a joke in the about the end of regulation at the beginning of overtime where the chance to breathe is supposed to have been right at the end of regulation. Or the chance to breathe was a long time ago, Vincent. Is it like time for a water break now?
I mean, to
we're
be
not
honest,
nearly to the Fnatic scenes.
yeah, it kind of feels like yes,
But we're
but
putting
the
it on
answer
the
is
team for the
no.
players. I mean for them, not us. Do the casters ever get to stop working? No.
Of course not. Here to bring an exciting conclusion. What has been a crazy matchup, and we're not even close to the conclusion of it. With this being map number 1.
I have one prediction for this to go, and it's
Okay.
the best they can get with all of my anecdotal evidence. The series either goes, what if we had to recast the entire game just then? It went to 0-0. That would have been shocking. The series either goes one of two ways. The next map is either a 13-3 to the team that wins this map, and they finish out 2-0, or we're going all 3 maps with the opposite squad, pushing that likely to 24 rounds on Ancient, and then potentially to a nuke. As long as it gets us to nuke, man. That's all I want. That's all I want. I'm a simple man.
Give this man one thing, and that is nuke. We're not there, and we might not get there, I guess, depending on your prediction.
Because you got 2 Mirages instead.
Yeah, we are at those numbers, aren't we? We're getting there. Out of the pause, and Venom Zera's got a Mac 10.
Oh,
aggressive. We've not seen this from Flamengo at all. They've never fought mid like this, not once.
You want to fight Red Canids with some cold feet? Here comes a huge flash, and with that to just fade out, History does land that onto a great frag. It's coldzera next to gone down. It should be 19 up in the cards immediately.
I cannot believe that it's taken this long. 30, what? 7 rounds? I don't know, math's hard. To see Flamengo take some more aggressive tactics up over in middle. BSM gone. Venom grabs an AK. He's not going to anticipate another man here. Dead.
Walks up. Didn't quite hit on the ankle. And now he's all the way thrown onto the heel. You can get this tied up immediately in the 1v4 20th round. Miracle denied.
I like that change up. That's something different. You know, there's been a lot of maybe criticism about how very off middle both Flamengo and Red Canids have played on their CT side, but they've both had varying strategies on how to handle that, on how to respond. Flamengo toss a little curveball into the mix, deep into this one, and it nets them a huge victory. Cold's up been very good, and despite that fact, Flamengo still take another step forward.
Trying to get that all the way into another history opening kill. Drop gets that down. We've had quite a couple of altercations between those two particularly. This time, this place, start of the round. Flamengo with another thing they haven't done yet. They're just sending 2 players all the way through ramp to investigate. Whether this seems a little bit amateur at this point, kind of do it all to kind of make things different. Cowes finding 1. Delboni immediately getting a trade here, and the better is 2 Red Canids seeing all that through A.
Yeah, and I mean, this is still really good news for Red Canids. Now, Flamengo have to respect that this could be, I mean, any site at this point. There's 2 sites, 3 players. They've got to maneuver their defenses into place, but it's B that Canids set their sights. Cuts Moretz is going to have to dodge what is 3 Molotovs, 4 Molotovs actually. 3 coming at him.
Two shots. And make it a third out by coldzera. Swapped onto the AK. And now it's Delboni into that type of clutch again. Got to finish it off on the B's site. Seeing him just carry back and forth. There's no nades here for Delboni. He would literally have to force himself through one. Checks out a couple of angles, but now he actually gives a cue. This is where he needs to just land a great 1v2, but at this point it would have to be just a strategic maneuver to get in between. And you could keep looking for a long time, Vincent, and it just wouldn't work out. It's Red Canids that worked their way up to 20. They've got this thing in the nerve, just as we.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a relief for the Canids. No longer going to have to be up against that brick wall that is multiple map points for Flamengo. A little bit of breathing room themselves. And Cold gifted a perfect spawn for mid. He's actually going to take it to B. Oh my lord. Pinocchio levels him.
Trying to wrestle on the B site so quickly. Poncer to get this back, and it's a struggle for Poncer. I was about to say 40 rounds ago. Well, you can work that to 38. He would have been hitting those automatically. Start of this game. He was so online. That B site was tallied off. Flamengo find a really good opening kill. Now you're sort of back to square one.
Yeah, it's a big relief to take Cold out because he's been the power move for the Red Canids often enough on this overtime period. He's been required for multiple times where multi-frags have been the name of the game. A little hesitation for Flamengo. They're going to end back towards B. Dinoco tosses the op from history. It's fake towards A. How effective will it be? They need to disrupt the double cat play, and I don't think it's going to work.
Wrong time to call this up. But seemingly like the right time for Red Canids. They're going to be like, great. I mean, it's an ace site setup. We could just rotate both of these cat players over who were just trickling into the middle. Real deal on that B site, though. And Panther is wondering where these players all came from. Dodges that first top shot, but it's not going to lead to much. Just to that 21st up for the Canids.
Yeah, I mean, that was meant to be an A fake into the B attack, and honestly, Red Canids didn't really, like, bite on the fake. They just lost A. Like, Flamengo just took both sides more than the fake worked, you know?
Yeah.
What a nice problem to have if you're a Flamengo. As I was going to say, Red Canids positioning on B, the double catwalk, kind of allows you not to bite on that type of fake. No problem if you just win both sides, and that's what Flamengo do. I can see it in my crystal ball, Mark. I'm going to be honest. I don't know that there's an end in sight.
Is there an end to this Mirage? We're stuck in purgatory.
I don't think there is. I think the end that you might be seeing is simply a Mirage.
Understood. Will become believable at some point, I promise. Winner here has got to win 2 in a row. That's the rule.
That, or we go to OT number 4. Heavy stack up here for Flamengo. They, take their time to at least fake like they have mid control. They toss all the utility, scaling utility as well to a certain extent. Some flashbangs that push you back off of connector. How long do Red Canids just sit and wait before they start investigating?
Got my eye on Drop here, who does walk his way forward to the window. Smoked out. That should be enough. He's not going to get a kill here, but he'll be calling for a little bit of help. They've even got that up from CT all the way onto B now. This should have all of the information to go alongside a good hold, but not ready for it as Ponter. Trying to actually just loosen up the pressure to drop. He's got that down based off of the smoke of Cowes, who's immediately traded, holding him on this site. With the bomb separated from history. Who's got that into VenomZera one-on-one with the Tech 9 through middle. 13 seconds, and that's the real problem. Bomb drop now, and it's borderline impossible. History will stay in place and just walk right back. 21st for the Red Canids.
The Red Canids' willingness to just sit there and wait, allow for Flamengo to take their own pace, take their own timing. It works out a treat for them. You know, utility starts to fade in mid, and Flamengo, they're looking to make that a split late to the party, though. And it opens up an opportunity for Cold. Drop gets his in window and then follows that back out to the B site proper with another chance. That's some good work. Ponter's timing, he might have gotten surprised a little bit, but his smoke was actually perfectly timed. Up in the apartments. You know what, Mark? This is the first Red Canids map point in overtime. This is the 18th overtime round, and Flamengo have had 5 opportunities to close out. Red Canids had 7 in regulation. They could not do it. Or I should say they had 7 in a row in regulation. They could not do it.
You say we got a couple of chokers here? What are you telling me?
I'm just telling the story. I'm laying it out. You take away what you want.
Somebody's got to put this away, man. Red Canids, they got the first opportunity to do so. As you so mentioned, they're first. On the CT side of all places.
I seem to recall 10 rounds on their CT side.
Should be easy.
That's what they're saying. Cowes, this is where he did his best work.
Hopefully the forecast hasn't changed right now too much alongside that. Cowes can tell there's just pressure being applied to this connector. He really can't press himself. Refreshes on that for the defense, and the bomb for Flamengo is headed towards A.
Canids, their stance is always passive. And that puts VenomZera in a tough spot. Now he's under pressure.
Smoky up top. Venom just got that. 2 smokes all the way put on this A site. Cowes gets that from Cat. coldzera in that stance. It's a 5v3 to finally put out this Mirage. 42 rounds into the game. BSM right up top about this. They have these kills, and VenomZera is the anchor. He is the anchor. He is the glue that is keeping this round together for the Red Canids. It's Cuts, if nobody else, the leader for Flamengo, that has brought up every idea to get them into this stint. He just hasn't had the double digits to do it, the blood sport effort to pull himself into another overtime. Who can blame him? He's been waiting for this ancient for a while. Red Canids, they have their hands on Flamengo's map pick.
Oh man, but it took a whole lot. From 10 to 2, and we finally end at that 22nd round. Absolutely absurd that we got to that point, that it was required.
If you listen closely, you can hear those crickets, and you realize we are on map number 2. We are out of the purgatory of overtime, Vincent. We're really here. Red Canids are really up a map.
That they really are, but you know what? What does that mean? Does that mean that they're gonna win their map? I don't know.
Oh gosh.
Last time I watched Red Canids, they were up a map, and then they didn't win the series.
That did happen. It was 9Z the opponents. Here, Flamengo. You win this, you're in this. You're out, you're done. You gotta win this to make a double elim bracket. Go on to tomorrow. This day 1 is already getting complicated. And right now, history is gonna think double check on this B site. Bomb's gone down. He's gonna quickly realize.
Yeah, unfortunately now there's so much space that Cows and coldzera have just taken. They could be anywhere. It's a pretty committed angle for Cold. Nice check by history as well. It complicates matter, but the longer that Cold dances like this, the harder it gets, because history, he's got a timer on this thing, and that timer was going down faster and faster. Fortunately, it doesn't get to that point. Cold with 3 kills, and the red Canids with a pistol round victory. Tentatively, I think that's all 3 pistols.
I was about to say, yeah, I was at a point where we can praise the red Canids, where there is maybe some concern from us. Usually, they win pistols, if nothing else, and we gotta settle out something. Something ain't right. You know, we got cameras back there now. We gotta make sure those are all good to go, Vinny.
This is true.
Happy about that. Hey, I was right. Player cam issue. So
You've
we'll
been,
get that
you've been on the
fixed.
money, to be honest.
Dude,
with regard to those tonight.
I love to be right about tech issues. It's my favorite thing. What, you gotta, like, clean the camera lens, maybe? Something happened. We had a whole map right before this.
You know, lots of ups and downs, we'll just say. There could have been many death slams in between
there's
that.
a psychological effect to that. Though I would say most tournaments are all on camera now.
Yeah. So I think we're past that, to be honest.
Can't blame stage fright. In your bedroom, on camera.
Some can. Some have, actually.
They have. I've heard about this coming from the North American scene.
Yeah.
NRG announces chair.
That they did. We'll see that chair at Frag, though, so.
Yes. You'll also see Fluxo at Fragadelphia. You'll see the Game Hunters as well.
This is true. Game
Or
Hunters,
any
were
other
they
South American teams that I'm missing?
Were they in this qualifier? I didn't see them. No, I don't see them. Oh, they won they won Challenger, if I'm not mistaken.
Fluxo, if that's what you mean.
Yeah, I believe they did. That's
Correct,
what I was
correct,
referring to.
Yes.
That's why they wouldn't
Game
be
Hunters
here.
did not win Challenger League.
No, they did not. They're probably already headed over, so that's probably the reason they're not here. But yeah, I think should probably be very comfortable at this point, especially on the Red Canid side. A lot of highly experienced pieces. That's actually true for Flamengo as well.
This is true. Got some old boys in their camp. Youngest likely being history. I don't know its exact age.
Is he? I don't know about that.
After we carbon date history, he's 21.
Yeah, I was about to say he's definitely on the younger side.
So how is that his name? I don't know. 21 years of history.
Well, because he's making history, obviously.
Wow. All right, there you go.
Yeah. All right. I think we're gonna go send this one off to a quick break. We're not sure exactly the timeline on this camera issue, so we're gonna hit a break and then we'll come back and get things back underway. All right,
Hooray.
we got to figure it out. I pushed the restart button. Actually,
I saw that.
I had to run quickly down to Brazil. I actually don't know who was having the problem, so I can't say that. But it's a
It's a
USP
good
round.
guess. It's a good guess.
Yeah, that's a good point. I guess it doesn't matter. We have 10 Brazilian players. Silly me.
I mean, there were some points of this qualifier where you could have had, I think, what, like 9 out of 10 Argentinian players? 10 out of 10?
Yeah.
With that Shin-In game this morning. That's
the
Roots. Mac 10 Farmerino gets 3 on that. You're going to love to see it.
Everybody goes down and cuts his legs.
Oh my god.
I love that decision from Cuts. Everyone went down, and also Venom got 3 with the Mac 10. And he's like, well, I got to get money too. So he goes with the knife out. That's so good.
And he was supposed to cut Cuts.
Oh, wow. This goes deep. It cuts deep. Missed opportunity. Oh, well.
Wow. I should be more on my stuff right now.
3 Mac 10s for Red Canids to start this one. We're going to get a fast A pop. By the look of the utility that's just been tossed. Oh, it's going to be massive.
Things. Yeah, and they're going to know. ESL will rotate back, and this is not one of those, we don't have any players on A hits. We're here to defend it. You're not catching us off guard. It's a bit early to go on this tally, and I think that's where it's not going to work out. So Drop Squad is going to have to figure this out without him behind the smoke, and with this advantage, it's Flamengo not being too crazy in this one, though the plant is going to come down, and Delboni is teasing, and he's just trying to find out where the smoke ends.
I thought he was going to come through, but poor Ponter. I guess they just lost the Mac 10, so still winnable. Less so now. 1v4. Coldwood had to do something magical to get back into that one. They'll collect both the AKs before getting the defuse off. But yeah, Red Canids, it's one of those fast A plays. You can appreciate the idea, but it's not even the execution that was poor. It was just 2 players kind of ready and waiting on the scene. It would have been so much more effective if Drop had been able to find that donut kill. But when he doesn't, it's a little bit tough for the Red Canids to scale further forward. They get the bomb plant, add additional money to their economy. They're going to get a T-side up on Cold in round 4 as well.
Yeah, I really don't. I mean, I know we were just hammering it home even before it happened, but it's just not the time to likely call it up on that drop notice. I mean, where you're trying to kind of, get a lot of contention and steal momentum beginning of this half, I mean, unfortunately, you're just seeing into a, very standard look at the beginning of the game here, which you've not really worked to throw off. So you get a standard response, and it results in a Flamengo round. He dropped to kind of redeem some of that T-side calling out from Mirage that kind of provided a slippery situation.
That's a nasty nade. Going to be on target. Callus and Poncer both eat the brunt of it. Pony, I don't really know about that. Unfortunately, it felt like he was just uncommitted to that, and he really pays the price for it. Cowes gets 2 out mid. Poncer follows up with another with history gone down. Blink and you miss it, but Mark Redkinids have A.
He force cuts back. Plant that's now into the paint. And that's that A site rejuvenated. A good look out from a kind of a prolonged default this time. They just work with exactly what they grasp. Ponter gets shadow, if anything, not fading around this corner. They got to fight here to the death, likely to hold on to these guns, though. I think expecting them to be all the way out at this point on the bottom of B to likely save. They're just so far ahead of them. It'll be all good. Flamengo with this tally, likely to hold on to these guns at the current status. Maybe not Cuts. And then what? We're saving over Vamas? Hide in this corner. He's going to be forced to fight, though. Gowez gets taken care of. No sweat.
Yeah, at least a little bit of extra economy to hang on to. Flamengo, with everybody surviving, I think they had 3 survivors in round 3. And it'll give them the extra cash to fall back on. History's op as well. And it wasn't really the op that you were discussing going into that round, but Red Canids, it's Cowes on a double entry, it's Ponter. Follow that up as the second in, mid-control falls flat, instant. Flamengo don't want that to happen again. A little bit more decisive this time with their mid-attack.
Picked up immediately. VSM is going to have to recover this himself. Cuts, spamming as Venom, and Ponter pops out, chasing Delponi back. He better hide. And getting that check out, it's a missed shot from history. Didn't have many of those when in the hottest of his maneuvers out of Mirage. On a man disadvantage right now, the Canids, but looking to find their way, likely back to Italian. Right now, it looks like a route is opening up towards A through middle.
And it looks like coldzera, I mean, this is a great spot to wield this AWP. I think that Flamengo eventually going to want to investigate mid again. But it actually seems like Red Canids have made their decision. History sliding back into a good spot. About to be playing in defense of all three coming from Cave. Crazy.
Dinoco just walked past on the X-ray. Calls middle clear. Now they're sounding off into A. Cuts. Potentially could get a second on a drop there. That's asking a lot. Smoking onto the ramp. Gotta hold the back door, hold it shut. And Cold does. A 4v3. Delponi now handed over and chained along with that AWP. It's gotta be history to do the heavy lifting here with no kit in the catalog. coldzera, they know he's a threat from Cave. Gotta be able to dig out that grave, and that's not an easy task. At this point, they've got it threaded through. Take one hell of a shot, but Delponi's actually got that onto the awaiting AWP player. And he's got more. 10-second defuse. Flamengo should have this. What a ridiculous turnout. And Delponi takes it down. Damn close. But it's going to be a second surviving on that 14 HP. That all came from the opening spam, Vincent.
That's a stunner that Delponi actually just hit onto Cold as well. He was posted. coldzera had all of the advantages in that. And unfortunately for him, he's just missed the shot. Great work from Delponi. The op handed to him because he's on the low HP in Flamengo. They bite back and they bite back fast. That would have been disastrous economically if Flamengo had lost that round, but instead, they're the ones that basically reset Red Canids. So I say basically reset. That's maybe a little strong. Drop has a lot of cash, so that's going to be the big bailout for the Canids in this round. At least they're going to get most of the rifles that they would hope for. Only one man lacking, and that's Cold. The Red Canids went for a tactical timeout a moment ago. Can't say I feel like I've seen all that many big adjustments off the back of these timeouts, despite what PGE can bring.
Nice hop from VSM. Audible through that Molotov, though. Still not ready for the awaiting drop. Sliding down. Delponi with insane impact right now, and can't get past the spamming from Moss. Holding a lot of this back right now. This is the end of the bill right here. Unless balled up between these two players. There's an even matchup on B to actually delve this out. And really kind of hugging that left side of the site. You may get timing here on Flamengo, and that could be what trips this round up just a little bit. As coldzera approaches, holding a deagle in hand. Just clearing out so much and being audible about it within Cave or Cuts in Dinoco back to back. Even using the utility now. It should be a bomb plan at a bare minimum.
Should be. Will be. Now confirmed. That'll help continue. Red Canids to keep up the pressure, but Venom Zera, the fact that he's the one that's got the rifle, but he's got the lower health, sort of problematic, and they've just rectified that situation.
Street long range. Misses on that shot. This shouldn't be online for too much longer. Cold on an AK now. Nobody's actually on that bomb. Delboni told to stick, and he will be responsible for another 10-second defuse. They took that thing quite close to the wall at the end of the day. Red Canids, you can give them your respect there, but it's Flamengo that are putting a couple of bricks into the wall on this CT side.
Yeah, Delboni heating up over the course of Mirage. Really started to come alive there once overtime started. I was talking about how, he and Dinoco were sort of a missing couple of pieces for Flamengo. Even Cuts had some big moments. I think history slow to start, but certainly a big impact. This regulation wore on. Delboni having a fantastic beginning to Ancient, putting Red Canids on notice. Red Canids, they've got 2 smokes to their name. There's no flashes to get them into this B-pop. Hoping to isolate towards the cave player for now.
Through. Cuts on that line. This is going to be awfully dangerous. So ask for some help. There's an offer here to give you that. Relieve some of the pressure. And they sweep him off of the board. Not a casualty thrown back by Flamengo.
Easy does it. And the fact that, those pistols don't find anything, it's not so meaningful, but it's certainly helpful. Red Canids are looking like they are in need of a little bit of a new lease on life after those opening 3 rounds. Unlucky bounce on that one.
About to knock on that door of Donut, but outside you're hearing so much from Jita. But it's smoke that's going to be separating so much. How's about a flash to help him out? Gotta focus on what's down here. 3 players on the other side. Gotta get out and space this. Delboni is just so consistent. He's had like 3 doubles in a row fighting out these spots in middle. They are so damn clean with it, and Cuts puts the period on. 5 here for Flamengo, and it's flashy.
Yeah, and there's actually a point that I wanted to make, not this gun round, but last gun round, and I want to bring it back because Red Canid's playing a style right now where it's really good and the timings are tight, right? Well drilled is the way I would describe it. But it really requires you to win all the individual fights the way that they're playing. And when you're not doing that, I mean, it ends in rounds like that where, 30 seconds in and it's a 1v5 or a 1v4. And maybe if it's a good, better, it's a 2v4. That's the bad for Red Canids at the moment. They're setting themselves up to play as if they are the best in the server, and that's not happening.
Now they're sprinting it up the ramp. History, standing up top. Flash from the back of the square. And somehow they've been dwindled off of this. Sprinting back because it's not because they've been forced back. This is by choice. Delboni here should have this down. Has been untouchable in middle so far. And now you've got this into an interesting space. VSM has coldzera in the face. And no bomb plan happening today.
No, none whatsoever. Flamengo looking better and better on the CT side, man. And I think that Red Canids have been pretty flat. Their attempts towards middle have been mostly put to bed. How about another double kill from Delboni? Make it 4 in a row. And I was just about to say I'd love another tactical timeout, and Red Canids, they give it to me. But like I said, a little bit of criticism that I leveled their way. These timeouts, they've been used at pretty good points. But the adjustments off the back of them, that's been a little bit less easy to point out. But this is a clear indication. Right, they've got a gun round. It's coming up here in a moment. They're going to have most of the, in fact, all the utility they could want. Should be the perfect time to reach deep into that playbook and find the right strat. If my worries are true, I don't know if it's about the strat selection, but about the execution.
Taking a play down the ramp. Tinoco in history. He's walking the dog. There's nobody going to be really on this line. It's going to be so far away from Venomzera. They're now getting a box back. They're getting the business from down below. Where are the frags? There's a smoke in the way. Had to just dish it out. Waiting for the fade. That's what Cuts is waiting for as well. Got that out from the top of this smoke and actually landing with a bit of much. Taking a bit of liberties now with this Molotov. Has got an eyes on drop. The Cows has been brought back on that same vein. History. What a great timing to show up in the house now and have a voice into middle. You've just gotten off the dip, so standing so far away, blind up into the corner, and now Cuts has got that on par. A great headshot onto Cowes. But now with this bomb down on the B site, there's only one member. It's Ponter that's the hold on damn alone.
Oh, big frag from BSM. I love that Cuts is staying alive. That's the goal at the moment for him. VSM's coming back up the shelf side. Cold is about to see that, but no. VSM's actually looked away, and Cuts is getting out of there. Oh, that's a puzzler. Mark, Red Canids, they're going to get the round, but Flamengo, they seed it more than Red Canids take it. VSM actually happy with the bank that they have on for the time being, so they're going to save 2 AKs instead of trying to force their way back into a 2-on-2. Unfavorable positioning, to be fair, to Flamengo. But they give Red Canids a little breath of fresh air.
Flamengo did not really, I mean, I can't tell you, I mean, you even know, Vincent, from literally us playing Pugs together, you know at home the feeling if you go deep in your league matches, have that type of overtime, have to go forward, play another map. It literally went 43 rounds in that first game. And Flamengo lose, even with forcing that comeback in that first place. They're not jaded clearly into a second map. They're motivated. So that is where you see the difference. And Red Canids, they really had to stir that round back, and it's a really good cue for them to start coming back. But on that same point, it was a measured risk by Flamengo to not go for it. They need this round 7 here in 11.
And they might just be able to get it. That said, they start with a deficit. VSM been at the forefront of all these fights, to be fair. He's been taking and generating a lot of opening duels, and I'd call it 50-50. He's been pretty good on them. This time, there's just not the backup that Flamengo have had previously. And Red Canids, to their credit, a little bit of a slower pace. I've been pretty critical of how aggressive they've played and how much they've really put themselves in a position where they just have to hit the shots. Well, this is a little bit more setup behind it. It's a B exec. Long smoke, short smoke, nobody in front of those. So, our kids just have to dodge out on a little bit of spam, and they should be okay.
What is this shot by Tinoco? It's so shifty to get back to back. And at this point, he's on point. Right back to Delboni, nice bold, and a double out for Ponter. He wants to just revert into a triple. Cow is now in the limelight. Here to get a 5th. Upwards, all came into success for the Canids. On this B lane, it's denied, and it's cut off by Moretz himself, who gets a 7th on the board for Flamengo.
It's all about speed. It's that surprise factor that Flamengo start to bring to the table. VSM goes ultra aggressive. And it's despite that fact, Red Canids 5-on-4. They start with an advantage. And what is it that we say is maybe the recipe for success for Flamengo? Well, it's losing out early. They find themselves a victory thanks to Tinoco. Big recovery from Delboni from map 1 to map 4v2, Dinoco joining the club with a multi-frag, a stunning couple of headshots they put together in Cave.
ESM has that slide. It's been provoked from both of those lanes. The Bunny here in an untouchable mix. This half, it's been thrown into the sticks. It ain't 4 that's pinned on the board. Ponter and coldzera, I'm not sure there's much you can do about this. The Boney walking into the smoke. His life is a done matter, but he's found the information. He's gotten a confirmation on both of these players. Rather, one separated. Could potentially conclude that. coldzera about to potentially walk through a smoke. Hoping for a different fate from Delboni right here.
Yeah,
At a measured time, Vinny.
I just don't think it's going to change anything. Cuts gets the information. You can rely on Cuts to make some very intelligent decisions in these types of advantages. You know, Delboni willing to take those fights, take some risks. Well, not Cuts.
Bird down here. Got Ponter a headshot. Dinoco, he's been split. This is a 4v2. Don't give them a chance. I said it was over. I said it was over. Don't prove me wrong. All it took was a little miracle and potential on for the ace by Ponter. One of the newest to the guild of the Canids has got this on big at the end of the first half. With VSM, he's on for size as well. Contact onto Ponter now in Molotov hold. He's got to get this shot. Ponter denied the ace, but he is not denied the chance to stand tall for his team. 4 is good enough, and the 5th up for Canids. They're pounding on their chest out the end of this first half, Vincent. That's the sound we love. Hear it ringing through 3 minutes of a break. We'll see you in a moment.
Well, at halftime, we were basically all tied up. And I say basically, Flamengo ahead by 2 rounds, Mark. It's pretty decent. 7 rounds going into your T side. I wouldn't complain, but I guess that makes sense if you could apply that to both sides. Red Canids not in a bad spot either.
Not in terrible to go. I mean, now with the ball in their court, I like the way that they're currently shooting at the net. And currently, their superstar ain't even the one that is the hottest. Really good work out of Del Bode in the first half. Really was excited to see what he was doing in coordination with VSM. That middle was on lock. And let's see if they can kind of wreck the record that has been on tonight. 100% shooting on these pistols. The Red Canids have been successful.
I mean, man, but they're set up for success. Look at this A play that's coming. Well, bro, they've got 2 players there, a third coming in, and a donut player.
Running up top. Headshot, and Cowes has got the quick trade. The smokes are going to continue to fade, and this should be an online stint. Bomb's going to be sprinting into the back lines as you stand back to back with Ponter and Venom getting back in that direction. They can just feel it. Measuring their concern, their caution. Ponter has got another kill. On that same vein, Ponter is just diabolical. He's got 2 pincered out from this exact spot. And you just got to remain patient. Flamengo pump those brakes in their own right. The next priority is get this bomb planted at a bare minimum and now stop him at that line. But can you even turn the head before it snapped off? 4 for 4. coldzera's crew's got that going for him.
Yeah, I mean, good news is Flamengo did get that bomb plant, but damn, talk about a pistol round where the Canids have everything they could ever want. They're set up ready for that A play perfectly. Dooley's in position for Cowes to pick up the freebie. And then there's even more, right? You don't anticipate the fact that you're going to have a donut player, 2 A players as well. So Flamengo, they reroute. Understandable that they don't want to sprint into that setup. But the problem is that the Red Canids are just a step ahead. They get back to B before Flamengo are even approaching the bomb site. And not only that, Ponter head on a swivel from house over to long. He's got him at any point.
Flashes up top. And we're calling a big T on it. Doesn't seem like we're live.
Yeah, it
Not
doesn't
live,
seem like
guys.
that
Everybody
way.
chill.
Drop
Everybody
has damage done, but
they're discussing. Do we have a referee around? Pull the card. Oh, maybe VSM that was what they were waiting for.
yeah,
I guess potentially because the damage was in Flamengo's court, like dealt to. It could be by their decision, but like, I don't. That's
I'm not
that's
sure.
Me making that up.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We got admins on the scene, that's for sure.
Yes, they do not pay me to make those decisions. Nor should they.
Yeah, that would be bad news, I fear. I don't want any of the. So being an admin's hard. I don't know if you've ever done that job, but it's a tough job.
You don't want to get the bag mark admin?
I think get the bag mark admin would terrify me.
I actually digress. I know the extremely hard work that our admin friends get up to, and it's not an easy job. Ponter is still fragging though, so this round never got reset. Bomb gonna go down. As far as we are calling it now, it's live. And Red Canids, they'll take a freebie.
Yeah, it seems like the conversation went, and unless they're gonna get a reset on this thing, which I don't think so, then yeah, it is simply that easy freebie.
Wow.
Maybe
sometimes there can
the funniest round of Counter-Strike ever.
play through the whistle. That's what my American football coach always told me. And it would not ring truer here.
This is true. I find that might be a like I've definitely heard that from similar coaches on my end, but I feel like any other sport that's like definitely a no-no.
Yeah, I don't think American football is known for teaching some of the kind of more lenient stances on kind of the toxic culture that it does lead with, but it is what it is.
I'm having a good time.
Play through the whistle in Counter-Strike. There you go.
Yeah, I think that's valid. I was gonna say I'm having a good time, kind of seeing the opportunities to continue, and we are gonna get ourselves a little reset. So,
all right. After review.
Yeah, we went to New York. It is good news. VSM had the most important weapon in that round. So
true.
They're going to purchase basically in the same fashion. So we run that one back, get a little redo. Thanks to the admin team getting it figured out fast.
And to be fair with you guys, like, even a meme that Vincent and I talk about all the time, you know, sometimes regarding some of these tech issues that we'll run into, is that there's actually, like, probably the most sportsmanship within the Counter-Strike space in South America than I think in any other region that I've ever covered. So I think you're actually probably glad to give, Red Canids are happy to kind of give the reset there, I'm sure. So It's all good to go. You're at a 5v5 stance, and I think with Pro League on the line, we would all like the integrity intact. coldzera to stand, and unfortunately get the back of the hand. This is a really good route up by Flamengo.
Yeah, Venom's going to take one out. That's the B-Lurk and cuts Moretz, but problem is that Red Canids don't have a foothold back into this bomb site. A has fallen, and the two defenders there haven't done their job. There's no frags, no nothing that stood in the way of Flamengo. Just a little bit of damage here and there. VSM does his heavy lifting, that singular kill, and Dinoco overruns Cold. Whatever the back and forth of this game, it's not over yet. Red Canids win another pistol, but Flamengo, they steal the momentum back in round 2 of the half. Venom died from there?
Real? Is that real?
He did have 1 HP, literally 1, but
bruh,
that's crazy.
Yeah, bomb is dangerous and has quite a large radius.
Yeah, but I thought this one was the dud.
That's what they want you to think.
Big bomb.
Big bomb.
More ways than one.
Sprinting them up. Unfortunately, Ponter couldn't get away on the Q, but he's going to get off of some sort of lay. This is the peak in a quick play towards A. And this is what we were talking about before. Better to call this up deeper into the half because they may be focused on maybe switching it up, going deeper towards middle. coldzera alone, but the backup is here. Considerable backup. Backup has a double with their weakest weapon. Now the rifles are here with assistance. And let's see if they continue to press on that tally. They serve it up so perfectly. It's Cuts all alone. And Red Canids should have a 7th. Unless a SMG can just turn the tides right here.
Surely not. I mean, great setup right now as well. Got Ponter, perfect location, and Venomzera's flashbang makes it so much easier. Red Canids cook up a little something of their own. Their Force Spy works just as well as Flamengo's, maybe even a little better. Cal is on the 5-7. It's a deadly weapon in his hands. Proliferating a victory. And we'll see if they can pontificate on yet another one.
Seems like a quick play out of the queue for Flamengo. They rise out of that smoke, one player at a time. Currently separated on this line, but not too far. There is nothing to be worried about unless you're Venomzera. Unfortunately, doesn't go down. Definitely not in vain either. He had 2. But only 1 casualty. Now that's what I knock him for. I think that'll be a great success for the Canids. Coming off of the round they just did, they're propelling themselves forward in the hopes of closing this thing out quick.
Yeah, this is one of the things that I really like about Cutsmaret's leading and the teams that he does. It's that basically I'm done with that force buying crap. I just want to get gun rounds. You know, we tried it, we got there. There's no need to lose the whole half in trying that. And I really appreciate that. Get history on.
Cows drop. Now this seems to be in form of a CT side that really is pushing further into the tally. Chasing along a 9th right here. Bomb in their grasps and separated our drop and Venomzera. But that smoke gets there right before they even cross, then they have a big decision whether to go through this or not. And if so many times they remember, shut down through the smokes, they ignore, flash up, and they serve it properly, they get a good shift, but it doesn't mean it will hold. It's still Boney now in a 1 versus 5. Has the bomb on his back, he potentially can shift to a little bit of respect for that sum. Don't you dare do this. He has a great 1-tap, but would still need to row his boat further.
Yeah, and I think his boat just about out of space to work. I think the river has run dry on that 1v5. Red Canids, they not only win back the advantage with the force buy, but then they follow that up with a dominant victory in the anti-eco and the first gun round. Well, that's theirs too. Big victory from Cowes. A team effort right now from the Canids, and drop with a spam in the smoke inside of Jag. All things coming up, Canids at the moment. Flamengo have to eco again. It really feels like they should have been able to afford a little bit more than this, but it's just a single flash to send him out mid.
Deagle going further. And that is quite a merger. Dinoco sprinting in the direction of House and is going past the AK into spawn. Bonter, you better perk up, my friend. A1S, it's going to be just handled from both ends. Dinoco jiggling a little bit too far, but they've distracted them for a good par. Out of the corner of my eye, still see Cuts here, bottom of my mini-map, just waiting for something to come outside of B. He's going to be the next player to get active here while the 2 smokes are up.
Yeah, but the problem is the bomb is on the other side of the map, so even if Cuts finds a little interesting vision in towards B, it'll be ended pretty soon with coldzera on the right position. I think Cowes, a couple of times now, I feel like he's a little bit exploitable in mid, 6 around, longer than I'd like to see. That's what happens this round, but, you know, if that's the only problem, then that's one that Red Canids have a lot of solutions for.
coldzera converts. That's history put down, and that's also the 8. Now into the hands of something weaker in health. In strength so far in this map, that's a different conversation. Venomzera may not be aware. That's threading the needle, and he's not. That's another AK collected, and now armed to the teeth. But Bullet could easily figure this out. 1 onto Delboni. He has 1 health.
It's problematic. The lack of armor, even more so. Picked up a little bit of utility, but it doesn't get placed in the right location. Split up is Delboni and VSM.
32. And gotta set this forward. It's a really good shot, and it's just when VSM decides to stick his neck in this, and he gets a very great timing. 9-all on this Ancient. We're getting into the 4th quarter now, and it is time for Flamengo to show their best. It's a nuke they want to throw up onto the charts here and continue to roll tonight.
Man, I really just keep flashing back to Kawa sticking around for so very long there in house. Just not respecting the pistols, not thinking that they're going to try and close the distance so quickly. And sure, that might not always happen, but a mistake that is significant. Cowes gonna Gonna continue facing forward. Aggression is the name of the game for him. That could do it on Dinoco.
That's a defeat, yeah. Easy. Potentially sealing to another stand. So close! I thought that was going to come on a cut. He gets way more back on the drop, though. This B site sits calmly.
Yeah, but the difference is that drop already got a kill on a Dinoco, so that damage, you know, it's trade damage for kill. And I'm no mathematician, Mark, but that feels like an uneven trade.
At this point, you're very well confirmed. coldzera sitting in this type of instance. Sure, they push so much outside of the site, Flamengo, but right here, it's the nuance to approach. coldzera's got to stay where he is. Now showing the hand. They've lost just the groove of this setup, but the Gleam is going to have to come through in the post plant because they're not touching this. Smoked out. Molotovs out of cave. Let's be investigated. Now approaching off of flash. It's coldzera that gets him blind. Drop keeping this up, but they've settled it forward. It doesn't mean they're prepared on this site. They were too distracted dealing with everything else. And while that happens, they strike 10 on the board for Red Canids, who fight back aggressively.
I really like the trap that Red Canids set. coldzera steps forward, takes a tick in the Molotov that's there for Gap in order to try and settle in with drop inside of cave. And it's Flamengo who know that that's a problem, that know that they need to root out the CTs that are in that position. But in the same vein, Red Canids know that if Flamengo put their focus there, then Ponter can push forward and deny the planter and more. Flamengo had no choice but be their pivot not available. And Red Canids, Ponter in particular, put him on notice.
Spamming with a Tech 9 outside B. Waving the arms around. We are here. We are here. Can't even see him. Trying to do so much. Cuts alone. It's only a tally. Smoked out of A. Quick denial. It even reconsiders the middle approach. Excuse me. We'll see if this does end up being bolted into the lane of Cowes. That smoke fades and they're trying to walk up history to take this fight.
He's got this Molotov. VSM actually has it. He's just invested it for close. So I think Cal is going to be pretty safe in his location. Dinoco's got another one. He's leading the charge. That's big damage. That sets up Cowes for a 3-man spray down. Cowes, the conqueror, over in middle.
Cuts the still. Pick this up. All left alone. Can you actually deal with Cowes? You'll just keep getting a new addition every single time. This time into Ancient. It's beautiful. Hope is to save this AWP away, but surprise. Ponter is here. A full house between Cowes and Ponter. What a great stint to put it away. And that may be the triple that sparks them trying to sprint out of Ancient with both maps in their hands.
Yeah, this is nearly an impossible decision right now for Flamengo. And I say that, it's actually quite simple. They have no money, they cannot buy, they need to save. But what it does allow is for Red Canids to almost certainly take a 12th round. It means that Flamengo going to have to ward off 3 straight match and series points. Elimination would be on the line. Oh my, it's happened again. Mark, it keeps happening.
B250 against the world, no way! And the Tech 9s as well. It should be fine. It should be a bomb plant at most. History standing right here up on the shelf with an MP9. They're just expecting him. And they get that down. coldzera to put the clue onto 12. And what a great turnout this is for the Red Canids. They're trying to find everything they can from this.
Listen, I played middle. All right, I know.
Oh, do you?
I do. I know how tough middle is on this map. It is not an easy position to play.
Unless you're
that, that being said, I need Cowes to stop getting caught by pistols like this. It keeps happening. It really does. Anyway, that's been my tag talk. Thanks for coming. Come back next time.
Well, we are here to listen. This one has gone on for some time. We threw the schedule out the window a long time ago today. It wasn't even us that had the pitch. It was probably Dwayne. Jay. They were having fun. I enjoyed watching along in that ladder series, seeing Misfit into New Jersey all the way out.
Ooh, nasty nade.
But now we're here.
B-site's under fire.
What a shot by Drop. That's all the way on the outside of things. That's just trying to keep this thing online. Bomb needs to go down for it to fully go off. They're still trying to scrape for the details.
They've learned their lesson. They know that there's a lot of presence potentially sitting there inside of Cave, but I love this. Red Canids know that that's what Flamengo are thinking, so they stack up, they play together. They're going to flood back through short. Lovely decisions.
What a great shot they get up here. Holding on to this 9th. Don't want to let 12 go. But on this little HP, 5 for Cowboys, 52 on Drop. They're trying to go for this. And a smoke down. They want to go for this gamble. They got to hit this line. And they do. It's called upon and it's answered. Drop and Red Canids see into day 2. But do they? Just barely. That's how it's all been tonight. By the skin of their teeth. It's a 2-0. And Flamengo, they tried their damn best. And they're out.
You know, listen, if you look at the score line and you just don't even look at the map scores, you just say Red Canids 2-0'd Flamengo, I'd say